For this installation, you shouldn't need much. I used a wrench and scissors, but refer to your kit for any additional tools needed. If you've encountered this problem hearing your toilet run non-stop, this might be your problem. First, I flushed to make sure something just didn't stick and chain were still intact. Next, I removed the lid from the back and checked to make sure the flapper wasn't stuck. Next, I tried to adjust the float, and I could tell that was the problem. No matter how I adjusted it, the water kept running unless I was able to hold it in one position. So without pressing it down, the water just kept running repeatedly into the fill tube non-stop. This actually went on all night because I thought someone just didn't try to flush the toilet again. So I bought the Fluid Master fill valve kit for about $13 from Home Depot, and this took about 10 to 15 minutes total to replace. You will need something to catch the water, and please make sure to turn the water off before you begin and flush to empty as much remaining water as possible. The kit also came with an instruction booklet, which made this super easy as this was my first time replacing a fill valve kit. I started by removing the water line from the base of the toilet, and this is where remaining water will flow if you choose not to remove all the water. You can soak the water up with a towel or sponge first from inside, again if you choose. There wasn't too much water remaining after flushing. So at this point, you're just going to simply loosen the nuts. And once you've untightened them slightly, you will be able to remove by hand, unless yours have been maybe hardened by water. And also, depending on the type of nut that you have, that may also make it a little bit more difficult to remove by hand. So either way, remove by wrench and by hand if possible. So there's also, in my particular case, a second nut that needed to be removed. And you may or may not have two. Once you have completed this step, you will lift out the old fill valve. As well as a flapper, if your kit is going to come with the flapper and chain. And then you'll go ahead and replace with the new fill valve, as well as any other accessories you've purchased in your kit. And these are all very simple steps. They're pretty self-explanatory. If not, again, refer to instructions as necessary. My particular kit required that the float needed to be adjusted to 1 inch above the pipe on my particular model. You simply do that by screwing the screw located right beside the float and measure. So after that step was completed, you're then going to attach the hose and this was a bit tricky to do one-handed while trying to film with the other hand. So I struggled a little bit trying to do that and eventually ended up getting it. Once I did this, I did realize that the rubber tubing ended up being quite a bit high. I went ahead and removed the clip, cut the hose slightly just with scissors, and repeated these previous steps to go ahead and reattach the hose back to this piece you see me again still trying to force on here, and just reattach again, repeating the previous steps. Once this step is completed, you want to replace the nut on the bottom and attach the water line. In my particular case, there was only one nut to replace with the new kit. And then you turn your water back on and you'll be good to go. So here you see me completing these steps where I am getting ready to replace the water line. Also, I do want to mention I did have to replace the water line afterwards as it started to leak a little bit at the bottom nut. This had not been an issue prior, and even after attempting to tighten, this would not stop. It was recommended after the fact that you should always replace any water lines when completing a plumbing job. And the water line only cost me, I think, somewhere between $3 to $5. So I hope this helps you out and saves you from a costly repair that you can do yourself. And I want to thank you so much for watching.